All right, what's up? So I want to share some information with you today about a pretty unsettling thing that is going to happen in the future for everybody's website. I mean, everybody. Okay, especially if you are currently running sites on WordPress, this is going to affect you. There's a very high percentage. A great chance this is going to affect you and your site within the next couple years, if not sooner. All right, the issue is revolves around something called transactional email. And if you're a normal person, you've never had to think about this in your life. Your experience with transactional emails on your own site is probably something like this. You need to reset your password to regain access to your account or to the admin side of your website. The email that you receive to reset your password is known as a transactional email. These are the emails that get sent from your website, from your server, to achieve little things like that, like the password reset. It could be a new account notification. It can be, you might have someone working on your site remotely and you send them a login, and then, that email goes to them and it's got a little link to that they can click to activate their account, that type of thing. These are transactional emails. Now, you've never thought about this because this always just worked. And for the longest time on, if you got just a basic hosting account like a shared server somewhere, this just worked. Transactional emails just worked. And that was great. It was great not having to think about this kind of thing, because I can assure you the second you really have to start thinking about email in technical terms, your life will be garbage. So it's best to avoid these kinds of things if we can. Well, the reason I'm doing a video here is because in the last year, really since the summer of 2022, the rules have begun to change with transactional emails. Basically, the bottom line is transactional emails are not being sent or delivered to inboxes because the main inboxes, Gmail, Yahoo, these types of big inbox providers, they are becoming very, very strict with the types of emails they'll let through and which origination sources they will allow to actually send emails. So if you're just some random schmo with a website that just got spun up in 2023 and your email is being sent out from your domain, like transactional email, the odds of that email being delivered to your Gmail inbox are becoming increasingly low, like really low. On a DigitalOcean droplet, for example, I set up sites on DigitalOcean, which is a real nerdy, techie sort of host, but it's cheap and the sites are fast. But DigitalOcean doesn't work like a normal shared server. It's not like a shared host like you're probably used to. And because of this, they have a lot of different terms with like what you can do on the servers and what you can't. In 2022, they eliminated the use of the PHP mail function, which you can think of as the thing that enabled transactional emails to be sent from your WordPress website. That's a big deal. So when they eliminated so like your website, if you just spun up a new website on DigitalOcean and tried to reset your password, you would not receive the reset password email and thus would be unable to reset your password. So you can see why that's a big deal. Like, you'd just be locked out of your account with no way to get back in because you can't receive these dang emails. That's frustrating. Super frustrating. And other hosts are going to be following suit. They're going to stop allowing these emails to be sent. And so what some hosts will do, if you're one of the lucky ones who's on it, well, not lucky ones, if you're buying hosting anywhere, you're hoping you get a speedy thing, like a speedy result, fast page load times, that kind of thing. But the reality is, if you're paying for hosting anywhere, you're getting stuffed on a box with a lot of other people. There's a lot of things affecting the speed of your website that you don't directly control. And so you're giving up some speed, hopefully in exchange for having problems like this one, the transactional email thing, having those problems taken care of for you. That may continue to be the case, like a big reputable host such as like a SiteGround. I expect these types of hosts to be providing the necessary services to make transactional emails just work so you never have to think about them. But number one, there's a good chance that they may not be able to do so for the long term. And number two, a lot of hosts are just going to opt out of this. So WordPress websites will not just automatically send mail, transactional mail, like this password reset function, that kind of thing. And they will ask you, as part of the setup process, to set up your own, it's called an SMTP solution. An SMTP solution. So back when this first started happening, this first started happening years ago. So people would opt for an SMTP solution instead of their domain-based solution because they wanted greater deliverability for their emails. I actually did this with I have a software business, and so with my software business, I set that up in 2019 for the first time, switched from the domain-based email to the transactional emails because I was having problems with people getting password resets. But I had a lot of transactional emails being sent, so it made sense for me to seek out an alternative solution. At that time, there were SMTP providers. One is Mailgun. There's another one called SendGrid, Postmark. There's a few of these that have existed. Mailgun was the preferred provider for doing low-volume transactional emails. They didn't make you go through a bunch of crap. You didn't have to pay, like the expected use was just going to be basic transactional emails and not really sophisticated use cases, which were possible with the Mailgun platform. So for example, if you are used to running an email campaign and you use somebody like ConvertKit, you can just imagine all the features ConvertKit has. A really nice email editor with lots of templates and styles. You have total control over your list and can do tagging to segment your list. Like say this person came from this web page under this premise and like they're primed for this. They can go into this content funnel. You can do all these automations and have these drip sequences mailed out to people automatically. You set it up once and it just works. Like these are sophisticated email marketing features. And like a ConvertKit has this kind of thing, like ConvertKit and all its competitors, they sort of offer this suite of email marketing tools that's worth paying for. Totally worth it. I use ConvertKit, I pay for this stuff. It's worth it. It's worth it. But with Mailgun and some of these other SMTP providers, it has always been possible to run your own little mini ConvertKit. So you're not paying for ConvertKit, you're paying for Mailgun, which was cheaper. And then if you wanted to be a big nerd and run your own stuff, you could actually do that. You could run your email list, you could do the segmentation, you could do all this, but you had to program it yourself. So you didn't have the nice interfaces like you have with ConvertKit and all that stuff. So you would have had a really good reason, would have had to have a really good reason to use Mailgun for something like that when ConvertKit exists. But I'm just setting this up so you know that there's a couple camps here. There's the normal people who would use ConvertKit for an email campaign provider, but there are these big hardcore nerds involved with companies that are sending possibly millions of transactional emails. For those people, ConvertKit may not be suitable. So that's when you might venture into this high-tech territory and deal with this crap that normal people would never choose to deal with. So I mentioned that to suggest that MailChimp did have sophisticated features that can mimic a ConvertKit, but no one in their right mind would ever confuse a Mailgun for a ConvertKit, an SMTP provider for an email campaign provider. These two things are worlds apart. But they deal with similar things, right? At the end of the day, they're both dealing with emails, so they're both kind of playing in the same playground. Well, back when I set all this stuff up in 2019, Mailgun was super cheap for these transactional emails. So I'm talking, I was paying less than $3 a month to handle all of my transactional emails, or like less than $5 a month, whatever it was. It was nominal, it was cheap. It wasn't like I paid up front. I paid for my exact usage. It was pay as you go. And so I paid every month. It was like last month, this was $3.42. Okay, that's my bill for the month, and I paid it, no big deal. Transactional emails all go through. This all looks good. Well, the spam wars, which are always affecting great big inboxes and email deliverability, have progressed to the point now where these SMTP providers are no longer offering these low-cost pay-as-you-go solutions. And I've done a ton of research on this now, and the cheapest one I found is now $15 a month. $15 a month. Most of them are like $50 a month. A few at the $35 a month price point, but like to go from $1.50 to $3 a month to minimum $15 a month, and that's with a one I probably wouldn't use, an option I wouldn't use. Didn't seem reputable enough to me. Certainly not on par with like a Mailgun or a SendGrid, something like that. One of these big established providers. That's a pill I'm not going to swallow. That's way too big of a price increase. Even at $5 a month, I would balk. I'd be like, "Yeah, man, this sucks. I don't really want to do that. That's a pretty big price increase, like doubling up my my cash outlay for this particular function," which again it's not sexy. Transactional emails, like if you've been on the internet for a few years, you've never thought about transactional email, never thought about it. And then if you're proposed with this idea that you're going to pay $15 a month for something you've never thought about, you're going to say, think it might be done with this website thing. This is not worth it. And that would be a wise decision because this is a bunch of crap that you should not have to deal with. So what's the solution? What's the deal? So now Mailgun and SendGrid and other companies in this bucket over here, the SMTP providers, have eliminated their low-cost solutions that were easy to integrate with WordPress to get around this problem of transactional emails not being able to be sent or delivered. So now that obvious solution that has been the go-to for 4+ years is now not an option. And so what do you do? Well, I've done the research. Here's what you do. You can run transactional emails through your Gmail account, but there's a lot of limitations, and you would probably almost certainly violate the terms of your Gmail account. So I cannot recommend that you do this. You may choose to do this after watching this. I don't know. Don't do it. I don't recommend it. You'll violate the terms of service. However, one more big company, Amazon, does have a solution that is going to end up being the go-to for everybody. I predict within 5 years, Amazon SES, which is the name of this email transactional service, Amazon SES will handle over 95% of the world's transactional emails within 5 years. That's what I predict. I predict this because Amazon is the biggest name in the space with a solution that exists right now. They have the least need to gouge customers for this. They're already making zillions of dollars in a zillion other ways. This is still like a revenue source and a source for new customers for them and to get people into their tech stuff. So I see no reason for them to rock the cradle here. But regardless, now the deal is when everything switches to Amazon SES, your tech on your website is going to have to switch from whatever it's doing now to incorporate Amazon SES as a third-party SMTP service, so your stupid transactional emails about passwords and whatnot actually get delivered. And this stuff actually works. Integrating that is a pain in the butt. It is. It's technical. And right now there's already plugins that exist to do this. But what I've noticed is that, I haven't heard anybody talking about this, that's why I'm doing the video, but what I have noticed is that the people who operate in the space are very aware of the pricing changes and the total change in that whole business model that has occurred since the summer of 2022. They're all prepared for that, and they are all price gouging accordingly. Even the most benign WordPress plugin to integrate Amazon SES with your site wants $60 a year for the connection. Well, if my Mailgun cost me $60 a year, not even, and now I'm going for a free solution with Amazon, ostensibly free, it's really cheap, super cheap, $1 a month kind of thing. Why in the world am I going to pay a WordPress plugin that connects Amazon SES? It's not even providing the service, it's just connecting it. Why in the hell am I going to give them $60 a year or more? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I sure hope the proprietors of these big plugins are watching this. They know me personally. I'd like to speak. I think this is despicable and egregious. I understand the cash grab, but this is a joke. This is an infrastructure question. And I can look at this problem and say, you know what? This would be better for humanity if we had a nice, easy solution here. Nobody wants to tear their hair out over a freaking transactional email. Nobody wants to do this. In my opinion, dealing with tech stuff on the internet has only gotten worse since 2005. That is completely anathema to what computer science is supposed to do for us, to what software is supposed to do for us. It's only gotten worse and more painful. And this is one more step in that evolution, just a knife in the heart. Anyone who wants to do this stuff and live a simple online life with a simple website, you can't do it. Everyone is conspiring against you. Everyone wants to get their grubby little hands on a few more dollars. It's disgusting. Okay, so I'm giving you the playbook to avoid this crap and to end around this stuff. Do not accept these price increases. Do not go buying some plugin that's going to promise you to connect this just so you get the problem over with. That's playing in their hands. They will win. That's trash. So, bottom line, Amazon SES for your transactional emails. I don't have a full solution for you right now. I have what I'm playing with in the lab here as far as my recommendation for how to put this together completely without paying for these WordPress plugin integration parts of the equation. Absolutely absurd. Total price gouging to me. It's like charging victims of a hurricane, and then a hurricane happens, all these people need gas and groceries, and then everything's marked up 10x. It's like, yeah, I got an ethical problem with this situation. So that's why this video, I'm making this right now. I have an ethical problem with the transactional email event horizon that is now upon us. And we're going to need a solution. So this will be the first you hear about this. Obviously, no one else is talking about transactional email. It's the most boring thing in the goddamn world. But when you are forced with paying, an extra $60 a year plus or whatever, it could be way more than that, I promise you, you're not going to be okay with this. You're not going to be okay with this. So bottom line, in the near future, you will have to transfer your stuff over. Your basic PHP mail function is not going to work. The stuff that has just worked is no longer going to just work. And you're going to be like, what? You're going to need this third-party SMTP thing. That's so your website can send out emails, and those emails will actually get delivered, which is a big problem, believe it or not. Yeah, so you'll be working with Amazon SES. That'll be your low-cost solution, and you'll now be paying a nominal fee every month for something that you never even had to think about before. And that sucks, but it looks like right now that's the best we can do. And I have to admit, there is a cost to end around all these things for deliverability. There's no way around it. This is the price we pay because spammers have made it that hard to get through with legitimate messages. And so we are all now subsidizing the fractured landscape that has resulted from spammers doing what spammers do. And so when that's happening, I would like for everybody not to take a big, huge L. This L is large enough that like every time something like this happens, when we've had something that was free that nobody had to think about, and then now we have to do some sort of solution, paid solution in its place, you get massive attrition on the internet. If there was 50 million sites before, there's going to be 40 million sites after. And every type of attrition event like this is going to knock off some percentage of people. And soon it'll be nobody left on the internet except for people who are super well heeled or who are printing money. But I got news for you. The guys printing money on the internet are not always good guys. It's guys who are making cash fast. And that landscape looks a little ugly. So I'm just saying, I like this to be democratized. I like this to be open to everybody. I don't like to look at some of these events that are taking place and know about the attrition that's going to follow. It's just gross. It's just gross. So I'm telling you about this today. You will hear more about this from me when I have a full-fledged solution to recommend to you for your sites. And if you are the type of person, like an agency type person or somebody who puts sites together for others, you've probably bumped into this wall a little bit. And, if you find me on socials, I'm happy to have a conversation about any of this stuff. I'm deeply embedded in this right now. I need solutions for my own sites moving forward. And I promise you are going to need solutions for yours, because one day this will come up. You will remember this video and you'll be like, he told me. So stay tuned to me for the playbook for getting around this transactional email crap. And if you like software that actually works and you don't get gouged for nothing over time, check out my software for WordPress. It's called Focus. It's the only software worth a damn in the entire WordPress ecosystem. Yes, I said that. Yes, it's true. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, see you later.